Bismillah and Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to the vlog. Also welcome to the kitchen. However, we're not gonna do kitchen stuff today. Today is actually a book haul vlog. So I am really excited to share with you some of the books that I'm adding to my TBR. Some of the books that I'm excited to read as soon as I'm done with my current read. And hopefully can inspire you to check out these books as well and to continuously encourage reading in our lives. So this is what we are dealing with. Alhamdulillah, these packages just came in today. Inshallah, let us do a bit of a haul and see what we've got ourselves. So Bismillah, we're gonna start with this one. I think there's only one book inside. InsyaAllah, I will share with you like the links for you to purchase the books in the description, so it's easier for you to get the books for yourself. Okay, so this first book is from Iman publication in Malaysia. It's a lot of plastic and bubble wrap, so let us recycle them inshallah, or repurpose them, reuse it. About this book by Iman publication, I saw it when it was launched. One of the things that I thought to myself, maybe I should like give it a read, but at the same time I know it's gonna touch some parts of me where I would feel guilty, I would feel lacking as an individual, as a daughter. However, trying my best to also view them as opportunities to be a better person, insyaAllah. By Iman Publication, Lin Razif, we have Hari-Hari Terindah Bersama Mak. Menghidupkan momen dengan yang tersayang walau tersepit dalam kesibukan harian. So it's a book that focuses on, her story, her journey with her mother, doing reflections from those experiences. And I think one of the, aims or the objectives of this book is, as we continue to grow up, pursue all the things that we want. I think it's easy to forget our parents who are growing old, and in this case, our mothers. Yes, I hope it's going to be a grounding, reflective read and an opportunity for me to serve my mother better, inshallah. So yes, this is the first one. Okay, we shall go with the black one lah. Bismillah. How do y'all usually like open packages? Is it like you just stare them, or you become very careful with packaging? But again, whichever materials that we can recycle, let us do that, inshallah, to care for the earth better. Okay. However, this one, there's like a cardboard situation, I think, to protect the books lah. What is this? Oh, there's even a receipt in here, literally like a receipt that you get when you buy from the bookshop. Okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, so another thing to note is that these purchases are from Shopee, because there was this one particular book that I wanted. However, because it's by Iman publication, right? So it's in Malaysia and the book was recently launched and it has yet to reach our shores. However, I was like, okay, I really want and need to read that book. So that's Alhamdulillah, there are Shopee people, they can ship to Singapore, and this is one of them. This is by Hanifa Books Cinta Sayang, managed by Naluri Creative. So it's literally a whole receipt. There are two books in here. Backstory on the books. This very first book, okay, is a republishing by Khairun Atika Kamsan. If you are familiar with her writings, which I love, a reimagining of the Jane Austen books. And this is one of it. However, it's a republishing with a different title, with a different cover, and based on my knowledge, there's like a bit more to this book. It's called Love in the Most Surprising Way. MasyaAllah. A beautiful cover altogether. What if the love I was running from was the one I was meant to find? Initial title was New Beginnings. That was what she self-published, and then afterwards she published with Bilal Books, which is a local publisher in Singapore. They still kept the title New Beginnings, just a new cover. But this one is a totally new title altogether. Read her books, New Beginnings, read her books, The Union, and I really love that book. It was one of the books where I purchased to actually read after I got married. Literally, during the first week of my marriage, I was spending time to read that particular book. And I thought that was like really apt, you know, the direction of the book and that new season of my life, given that I just got married at that point in time. So yeah, really love supporting friends. Really love this republishing for her together with Roma Books, MasyaAllah. Yep, and it's the same characters, Alisa, Gaddafi. But I'm also very excited to see like that extra bit in this book. So we're going to look at that in one of the days, insyaAllah. So this next one is published by PTS Publishing House. However, I did not know the existence of this book. I was browsing to look for other books and then I came across this book. This is Kitab Perang Panglima Islam. I was really drawn by the cover. I am actually a person who judges the book by its cover. I know we're not supposed to judge the books by their covers. However, there's something about the intentionality of the cover of the books because it really takes a lot to conceptualize how you want to create that first impression to your writings or to a certain, publication. Buku ini adalah karya yang ditulis oleh Khalifah Abbasiyah yang bernama Al-Ma'mun pada abad ke-9 Masihi, menghimpunkan muslihat pertempuran, prinsip kepimpinan dan teknik pengurusan risiko yang digunakan dalam dunia ketenteraan Islam. Kitab ini adalah ringkasan daripada buku Al-Harsami yang lebih tebal berjudul Al-Hiyal fil Hurub. So basically this is like the translated version of the book Siyasa al-Hurub, right? Al-Hiyal fil Hurub. So basically, based on what it says here, the initial manuscript to the book that was written by our classical scholars, it was gone. So these were some of the little things that they actually managed to retrieve and that they actually managed to save. And I'm still just trying to figure out the direction of this book and what it actually covers. However, because this is in relation to our earlier Muslims, and it always intrigues me to learn about their wisdom in the context of their time. So definitely looking forward to this read, insyaAllah. Okay, so we are down to our final package, and the book that I initially wanted to buy should be in this one, insyaAllah. Let's check it out. If you've read any of the titles from today's book haul, please let me know what you think of them. Probably the insights or reflections from your reading so that we can continue to inspire others to read. Share the benefit to other people. The fact that we have benefited from the reading. Okay, I see it. The book is in this one. And again, friends, recycle whenever it's possible. Maybe I say the best one for the last one, insyaAllah. However, there's this very interesting book, okay, that I saw when I was scrolling. It's actually books written by different people. However, they are actually targeted to wives. I'm not sure if there are many other books in the series, but I got this two. So the first one is Isteri Inilah Syurga Kita. Sabarnya isteri pastinya syurga kerana rumah tangga ini tidak pernah sempurna. So focuses on patience on the journey of being a wife in a marriage, because marriage in itself is an ibadah. When something is worshipped, something is an ibadah, it will continue to test you. There's sweetness in that as well. But yeah, we are constantly in need of reminders, right? So I'm interested to see how they unpack about patience for wives. And this one is Isteri, tenanglah saat diuji. Dalam ujian rumah tangga yang melelahkan, ada Allah yang menyenangkan. So not much about like what the book expands on. However, really interested to see how relatable it is. Reflections and learning points that I can get from these two. It's definitely a genre that I don't read much about wives, and I hope to benefit from this, insyaAllah. Yes, are you here to inspect my haul? Yeah, will it fall? Are you trying to warn me that it's gonna fall? Okay, I'm gonna shift it here. I hope we can still see it. And we're down to the last one. And this book is written by Hasrizal Abdul Jamil, who is a very learned, very knowledgeable person. Again, a book published by Iman publication, and the title is Iqra, Panduan Berfikir dalam Menghadapi Krisis Kejahilan Modern. He's someone who has graduated in the Sharia field, in the diversity and inclusion field as well. So I'm really interested to know about his context, and I'm not sure if this is like from his thesis or his research. However, as we know, Iqra is the very first revelation of the Quran sent down by the Prophet ﷺ. One of the things that intrigued me was the mention of AI. Yes, well, it's in Malay, insyaAllah I can still understand, but it's one of those books that's not serve to comfort your thought process, but it's more of to challenge, to help you unlearn certain things, relearn certain things as well. This is actually the book that I wanted to get, but while I was browsing, we got here as well. Okay, so let me just take a look at the contents page first. If you're interested to read excerpts from the books that I've got, there's this channel on Instagram under my profile called Currently Reading. So typically I would share to the people in the channel what's my current read and some excerpts from it lah. Most of the time it's just getting people to read excerpts so that it might inspire them to want to pick up that particular book and read together with me. So yes, okay, this can be recycled, insyaAllah. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, MasyaAllah, it comes with a bookmark. Let's see. Jawapannya kembali kepada wahyu pertama Iqra. Membaca dengan nama Tuhan, membaca untuk menghubungkan, bukan mengasingkan, membaca agar ilmu menjadi nur yang memimpin manusia pulang kepada Allah. I always love, this little but intentional additions to books. Lovely. Okay, so what do we have here? There's the mention of Iqra right here. A couple of things in the contents page. We have bab 1, krisis pemikiran dalam zaman pasca kebenaran. Bab 2, cara pandang dunia yang berubah. Bab 3, tahun-tahun yang menipu. Bab 4, gelombang kebodohan yang menjadi norma. Bab 5, ilmu terpisah-pisah dan kefahaman yang terhakis. Bab 6, berpelajaran tetapi tidak berpendidikan. Bab 7, Iqra sebagai penyelesaian jahiliyah sepanjang zaman. Dan bab 8, kebimbangan awal terhadap usaha penulisan ilmu. Really looking forward to read this. Currently, I'm actually reading one of the books from the Penguin Publishing House, the entire 20 series of Green Ideas. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm reading book number 15. So I've yet to finish that first, but insyaAllah, after that, I hope to jump into this. And I'm also wondering if this could also be like a nice read to segue into the blessed month of Ramadan, insyaAllah. But other than that, alhamdulillah, these are the books from my book haul. Hopefully it can inspire you to pick up some of the books, to explore these titles, inshallah. There are new publishers that I've never engaged with their books, so I'm really looking forward to understand their direction, their style. But more importantly, let us continue to read in this very fast-paced world to help us slow down, to help us make sense of things, and to help us understand, the world in which that we live in, understand our faith, understand our life, understand even the little things, inshallah. And before we go, I have happy news that alhamdulillah, I'm now a shelf owner at the Casual Poets Library, which is a community library where different people would rent the different shelves to share their books, to share their reads. I was thinking I could, bring the Currently Reading channel on Instagram to like a physical space so that I'm able to literally share the books in which that I have read. So I'm really excited for that. We have moved in earlier today, and inshallah, if you have time, if you're in Singapore, you can go to Bukit Merah, 123 Bukit Merah Lane 1. If you're not from Singapore, when you visit Singapore, please visit Casual Poets Library because it's a community library made by the community for the community, mashallah. And you can visit shelf 171 to check out some of the books that I've shared in the Currently Reading channel. You can borrow some of the books, you can spend time at the library to actually read those books, inshallah. I hope that you can also tag me when you're there, share with me your thoughts on some of the books that you have read. Let us continue to encourage one another to read, inshallah. After all, the first revelation for the Prophet ﷺ is Iqra, to read. Alhamdulillah. So that is all I have for today's vlog. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen today. Thank you for joining me at this not so typical angle, but Hope it has been beneficial thus far. And yes, if there's any books that you would like to recommend for me to read, feel free to share with me. And I hope that you always remember to syukur a little more, regret a little less, and love what you do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah. Hope for you to tune in and join in the next vlog. Assalamu alaikum.